The biggest story of this year's silly season is without a doubt the lengthy contract talks Lewis Hamilton is having. Mercedes haven't seemed like a title contender for the last 2 years, and this could take a toll on their star man. Could it be true that Hamilton is looking for a ride elsewhere? Well, according to Italian journalist Leo Turrini, Ferrari president John Elkann personally contacted Lewis Hamilton to offer him a Ferrari contract, which he politely declined. Hamilton, who is out of contract with Mercedes at the end of the season, and his team manager Toto Wolff have repeatedly stated that a deal is on the way. But 6 months later, nothing has happened. The media has speculated on the reasons for the delay, ranging from money to ambassadorial posts to length, while other analysts have said Hamilton should grab the chance to quit Mercedes. Former Formula One team president Eddie Jordan feels Hamilton and Ferrari would be a match made in heaven, while former driver Martin Brundle has urged him to go to Ferrari and do a Michael Schumacher. Ferrari is apparently making a move, with President John Elkann personally proposing Hamilton a deal. Turrini reported on his blog, Hamilton has been contacted personally by Elkann. I understand he politely replied no thanks, and you can understand it unfortunately. Elkann, though, isn't the only Ferrari team member who has approached Hamilton about an appearance in red, according to Automotor and Sport. Michael Schmidt, speaking on Hamilton's protracted contract struggle, told the German outlet that he doesn't recall an extension of Hamilton's contract that happened from one day to the next, but in the end, it has always been announced. Meanwhile, Ferrari team head Fred Vasseur is said to have approached Hamilton, but the Briton, like Elkann, declined. Vasseur is rumoured to have made Hamilton an offer. I won't deny it, Schmidt continued. I think Vasseur knows well that Lewis is not going anywhere, but he also has to make sure that Ferrari shows some dynamism. I also think Hamilton is quite smart. He knows very well that even if they pay him double in Maranello, things won't get any better there. Ferrari's not ahead of Mercedes as a car. And every problem at Mercedes would multiply at Ferrari because it is even more in the spotlight. However, Ferrari has previously denied giving Hamilton a deal. The Daily Mail claimed earlier this year that Vasseur had proposed a £40 million a year contract for Hamilton to join Ferrari, which the Frenchman refuted. You know that at this stage of the season, you'll have each week a different story about driver changes, and we're not sending an offer to Lewis Hamilton. We didn't do it, he said. We didn't have discussions, he added. I think every single team on the grid would like to have Hamilton at one stage. It would be bullshit to not say something like this. If I have discussed with Hamilton, it's because I've had discussions with him for the last 20 years. I've discussed things almost every single weekend with Hamilton. I don't want to stop having discussions with him because you're chasing me about a contract offer. So while Lewis Hamilton has yet to sign a contract extension with Mercedes, Formula One journalist Lawrence Barretto believes it is a matter of when, not if, the agreement will be finalised. Hamilton and his Mercedes team have verbally committed to extending their Formula One alliance, albeit this has yet to be formalised with a signed deal. Hamilton has dismissed reports connecting him to a move to Ferrari. But with a new Mercedes contract reportedly on the verge of being finalised for months, uncertainties remain. Lewis Hamilton's continued association with Mercedes is really a formality. In F1 2023, Mercedes has fallen short of the title for the second year in a row, with McLaren joining them in the race for the best of the rest P2 place, which also includes Aston Martin and Ferrari. Even though Hamilton has made it quite apparent that a record 8th World Championship is his ambition, Barretto believes Hamilton will continue to bet on Mercedes as a team capable of unlocking that potential. The best seat still technically available for 2024 sits at Mercedes alongside George Russell. But in reality, it's a matter of when, rather than if, Lewis Hamilton finally puts pen to paper to keep it in his possession and extend his stay at the Silver Arrows, Barretto wrote in his piece for the Formula One website. Neither Mercedes boss Toto Wolff nor Hamilton appear stressed by the amount of time it is taking to get a new deal over the line. They both said that the key terms, including money and length of arrangement, have been agreed. It's just, as Wolff puts it, trivial things that need to be cleaned up in the contract before it all gets signed off. Hamilton has left it late to sign a new deal in the past. It wasn't until the eve of pre-season in 2021 that he inked a one-year extension to race in that upcoming campaign. Just 6 months later, he penned a new 2-year deal, taking him up to the end of 2023. The 38-year-old reckons he can race on for at least another 5 years, the Briton believing he still has what it takes to win a record 8th World Championship. And having spent his whole career with the Mercedes family, from backing in karting to making his Formula One debut with a Mercedes-powered McLaren team, to spending the last decade with the Works outfit, it's more than likely he'll continue with the Silver Arrows for the foreseeable. Hamilton recently spoke with a broadcaster on his Formula One future, stating that with all of the travel commitments involved in current Formula One, he has days where he wonders if he can continue. But when he gets into the car, even if it is as bouncy and difficult as the Mercedes W14 at times, that thrill returns to the same degree as his rookie season all the way back in 2007, making Hamilton feel he has another 5 years to offer. Honestly, I have moments where I'm like, I don't know if I can keep going. And that's just based on there's a lot of travel, said Hamilton. There's a lot of traveling, there's a lot of time away, and all the sacrifices that people make in their careers, and striking a balance between social life, family life, and career, being the best you can be, something has to give. And the other two, which are the most important, take a hit. So I think about that often. But then I get into the paddock and I get in the car, and I'm like, damn, I love this so much. I definitely get the same buzz as in 2007. I would say in last year's car and this year's car, I get in with hype, and then you get in and you're like, damn it, it's bouncing. And you've got some sort of problem with the car. So it's not as enjoyable to drive, for example, as like the W8, Hamilton's 2017 title-winning Mercedes. But I can see myself being here still in 5 years' time, but it can change at any point. Hamilton's more immediate goal will be to achieve P3 in the 2023 Drivers' Championship, with only 1 point separating him from the current holder, Aston Martin's Fernando Alonso. Hamilton believes better results are coming, and Mercedes is the team to win his 8th championship with. He has praised James Allison's effect on Mercedes since his return to the position of technical director. Allison replaced Mike Elliott after a dismal start to the season, with Hamilton securing only 1 podium for the team in Australia and a gap in performance persisting for Red Bull. Allison returned as technical director barely 20 months after handing up the post to Elliott before becoming chief technical officer. Allison's new role allows him to be more hands-on in managing the manufacture and development of F1 gear. Allison's return to the post coincided with a big improvement package that saw Mercedes seize the lead in the constructors' standings, passing Aston Martin. Updates are in the pipeline for many races to come. It takes time to build things, Hamilton said. James is great. We've got a really good relationship, and he knows when to be stern. He's probably never actually soft, to be honest. We had a great meeting before the Hungarian Grand Prix, where we had all the heads of departments within the room, and just making sure we're all on the same page. Great communication. We have 100% faith in them, and just as a group, as a whole, that we will get to where we need to be. But Hamilton is not the only one positive about the future, as Mike Elliott further detailed the team's present situation in a recent news release. Last year, we made gradual progress throughout the season. We got ourselves into a position where we had some confidence over the winter, hoping to start the season in a better place. To find out we weren't was a kick in the teeth, but it's been good to see the recovery path. If you look where we started and where we are now, compared to Aston and Ferrari, we've made good progress. Our aim is to win championships. Unfortunately, we're not in that position this year, but we want to be next year. We've got to get that balance right between getting all the learnings we can with our current car and trying to put most of our effort into next year's car. It's uncertain whether Mercedes can establish themselves as title challengers, but Red Bull has a target on its back for next year, according to Toto Wolff. A target which Hamilton hopes to crush. But the big question is, will he? What do you think? Will Mercedes be able to bring the fight to Red Bull next year? Let us know your expectations in the comments down below.